Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I'm going to be sharing with you this card here. I'm going to zoom you in a bit so you can see it. It's really pretty. It uses the Timeless Elegance Designer Series paper stack or pack. I'm sorry for the husky voice. I've got another cold bug. So just excuse me if I start spluttering and coughing and sneezing, so I do apologise. So this is the card that we're going to be making today, and I just love this Timeless Elegance, particularly the flower, the rose. I think it's just stunning, but the whole thing works really well. Now, although the backgrounds are all very vanilla based, I've actually used one matte layer that is white, and that's to lift it and pop it up and make it really make this beautiful rose one stand out. So the only stamp set we've got today, we've just got this one bit of stamping down here, which is a sentiment which is just beautiful. Love at first sigh. A real pun on the love at first sight, but love at first sigh, and I just think it's beautiful. You could use it for your anniversary card, for a birthday card to the person that you love. You could use it as a Mother's Day card, a new baby card for a mother, as well as weddings and engagements, and so basically any sort of celebration, congratulation type event. And the stamp set that I'm using is the Greatest Greetings. So hopefully you can see pretty much, and they're all got bits of puns to them that give you a bit of a smirk. So you grow girl, sending smiles, hooray for today, little Mr. Right, little Miss Perfect, you're extra ordinary. So some really lovely stamp sets on here, or stamps on here. Right, so let's crack on for getting this card. So I'm just going to zoom you out a bit so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pop my card over to one side. So the first thing that you want to do is make your card base, which is using thicker Whisper White cardstock, and it measures 21 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres. So if you don't do centimetres, that's just your regular A6 card, and your matte layers go down by 1/4 of an inch, so you can work out your mattes in that way. So you want to score through that long side at 10.5 centimetres, then fold so that the unsightly ridge is inside, and use your bone folder to just burnish that fold, make it nice and crisp, and pop that to one side. Actually no, we don't need it to one side. Right, next is your first matte layer, which is Mint Macaron, and that measures 14.4 by 10.1 centimetres. I'm using Fast Fuse to assemble all of my card, but Tombow or Tape and Tear would work equally well. Just not PVA, because it causes your cardstock to wrinkle. So you can pop that matte layer straight down onto your card base. All the measurements and the full tutorial will be typed up on my blog, which goes live the same time as this video. Right, so next you've got your first piece of Designer Series paper, which measures 14.9 centimetres by 7 point 14, and oh sorry, it's 14 by 7.9. There you go. So if you're doing it in your look, I've done the wrong side. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, never mind. We'll do it the opposite way round this one. There we go. So we're going to pop the rose one on here. So this is just showing you how it is double-sided. If you make errors, we all do it. So, but it's still going to work, and it's still going to look beautiful, I can assure you. So that is the basic card. You've then got a second little card that just gets offset on here, and that is using a piece of the reverse side of the designer series paper. So you just want that. Actually, I'm just wondering, I am just wondering, I think that will still work, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do is, and this is where you can wing it as you go. So I'm going to take the mint macaron ink pad, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some ink on the Stampin sponge. And we're going to sponge over those flowers to make them really pop, and then just go round all the edges just to tie it in. And because it's on a mat of white, and matting is just layering, so because it's on that matte layer, right, so that completely changes that, so we can get away with having the same designer series paper on both pieces, but it still coordinates. So a bit of fast fuse on the reverse side, and mat this down onto a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that measures 11.6 by 7.3, and this is going to be offset here. So because this has got colour, the background version will go into the background, and this colour will stand up and pop. And to help it out on its little journey of standing up, just pop the Stampin' Dimensional in each corner. They're superb little hexagonal sticky fixers, only available through Stampin' Up, I hasten to add. And they're just fab. They really pop up, and you don't need to use many of them, so they're really, really resourceful. Pop that down on there, and then this is just a little strip of mint macaron cardstock, and it's 1.5 centimeters wide, and you just want it to stamp on it, you just want it roughly the width of the card front, so about 10 centimeters wide. And then with the basic black ink pad, and as I say, I'm using the Love at First Sight, stamp that down onto that strip, and there's a reason why I've used it at 1.5 centimeters wide, and that is because 1.5 centimeters fits in through the top of the banner punch. So rather than doing lots of little banners this way, what you can do is, to create banner ends, is you insert, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can, I have shown you how to do it before, but in case you haven't seen those, so you insert it between the cutting blades. So if I show you there, so you should be able to see where they're coming through, and then you can see through the top here, and where you want to create your banner end, you just pop it out. There's one banner end, rotate it by 180 degrees and pop it back through. If it's tight going through, pop it through from the opposite direction, and then you can just flip it up with your finger and it goes through and do your other banner end. Pop some Stampin, just a couple of Stampin dimensionals on the back of that. Bring your card in and pop that, offset it so you're creating almost like a fold. So you've got that on there, and then we're going to embellish this using the blossom elements, blossom flowers that come as part of, remember the proper name, I think they're just the in colour blossom accents. And I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to stick with the mint macaron. So you've got them, each of these comes in one of the current in colours. And the easiest way to stick these on is using a bit of Crystal Effects. And you will be amazed how quickly it dries. Sorry, this is the end of my bottle, and I'm such a cheapskate, I refuse to not use it till its very end, so it's probably going to go on me. And you just want a dot, you see, and it dries clear and not sticky. So just pop your little blossom flower on there, press it, and that is it, it's stuck. How quick is that? So you really only need a small dot. If you put too much on, it will take ages to dry, but it's a brilliant, brilliant adhesive for anything that's a bit more weighty or bulky. And there is today's card. How quick and simple is that, even if it does differ from this one. So I will put both photos onto my blog, and I'll make sure that the instructions for both are on there as well, or any variation, which really is just going to be over inking over the designer series paper. But I think both of those are lovely, and I think anybody would really love to receive one of those. And just keep it to ourselves, but I may even use one for this one, I think, for my husband on Valentine's Day. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with another project for you. Ta-ta for now.